Oh, have I woken up to a shitstorm? Jesus. Caedrel said this, Caedrel said that, Caedrel said that, Caedrel said this. Oh my goodness, what the fuck? Like, it's weird because... It's weird because... Like, the one thing that all the fans held against me was that I said that all the owners agreed. But this is what I said.
He said, because people are just calling him a liar. Let's see what he actually said.
Show off. So I think competition-wise, completely removing the whole Los Ratones format or whatever fucking my spot is, it's great. Also, if this was to ever gone through, I'm pretty sure all the teams have to greenlight it, don't they? Don't all the teams have to greenlight this? I think the teams are probably on board as well. I said, surely the teams have to greenlight this. They're probably on board, right, for this to happen? Anyway, so yeah, a lot of people are mad because I said that the owners agreed. I have no idea what happened in the owners meeting. I have no idea. I was in the fucking... What about it? I have no idea what the LEC team's been talking about. Whether they agreed or not. I said that surely they would have had to have agreed for this to go through. Because if you think about the way it's worded, right? It says, the idea of having ERL teams compete directly with LEC teams for Worlds qualification was also discussed, but that was declined by the LEC organizations. So if it was declined by the LEC organizations, that means that it didn't go through. Which you then in turn have to believe that if this did go through, that the LEC organizations were like, okay, yeah, that's fair enough. Because the way it's worded, it just says that they declined the other version. So if Riot forced them to do it anyway, then I don't understand how this didn't go through either, right? You know what I mean? I didn't know that they would go like, hey guys, we want to do this thing, who agrees? And everyone's like, no one. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, we're gonna do it anyway. What the fuck? If T1 wins Worlds with Duran, I'll shave my head. And I'm not saying that because I don't think they will. I'm saying that because I would be absolutely shocked if they could pull off a third World Championship with Doran top lane. Not that he's bad, but the flaws that he has do not line well with winning a World's title. Okay, I mean, that one you've got me dead to rights, not gonna lie. You've got me dead to rights on that one. But, like, let's talk about it a bit more, chat. Come on, I mean, guys, really, do you want to see me bold? Really? Like, think about the timing. The World Championship ends. Caedrel's gonna go do League Awards in his fucking Egghead. Huh? He's gonna rock up to the Red Bull League of its own event, play against T1, Egghead. Like, really? Do we want that? Does anyone really want to see that? Does the Faker want to see my bald head? No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. I mean, he could look at that bald head and be like, I did that. No, he doesn't. What's happening on the Reddit? Do I want to go through the Reddit? It's just a war, isn't it? Isn't it just a war? You didn't say when you would go bald. Yeah, but it implies that I would shave my head relatively soon afterwards, right? A war has begun. And the Sally's just like in the middle of the fucking battlefield, just like... If you open the franchise system, why not make it like any of the traditional football cups? Make it a huge round. 1 to 3 are ERLs, only seeded by their sum performances, and the later rounds are LEC teams that get seeded in. Just catering to LR like this feels bad to everyone. I don't know how to talk about this topic anymore, man. I feel like it's such a fucking train wreck because like LR is like the center of the whole fucking nuke. But like, I'm still super excited. I'm still super excited. If this were to go through and happen, then I think it's like gonna be legendary. It's gonna be legendary. What is this? LEC kickoff finals matchup preview. Caps versus Baus. What would stop me from sending my whole main team to scrim in Korea for the entire winter split and letting my academy play in the first split of the LEC? Is everyone gonna boycott the winter split now? Oh, go on then. That's all. Okay, fine. Everyone boycott the winter split. Sally's gonna sub in as well. Then fuck it. We'll put Sally in. Do you know what happened to the last team that subbed in their academy and went to Korea? Aware. Yamato is popping off with content. Okay. Bro, what is Yamato is unleashing content. Wait, there's lane swap changes for Worlds? Was. The lane swap penalty timer will be going to 4 minutes in top lane. This is 30 seconds longer than the timing at the first 10 match. Oh, 80 carries can't go top. 80 carries can't go top. Someone says, Riot also just announced that in Valorant, tier 2 teams have a chance to qualify for champions at the Masters. Yeah, we saw this. Valorant just basically announced that all tier 2 teams can now qualify to Worlds. And everyone's like, whoa, that's sick! That's awesome! Yo, that's so epic! And then I think League did the similar thing, but instead of... I don't know if it's the same format or something. Meanwhile...
with Champions Finals weekend...
How does it work, though? The Valorant teams didn't have to pay millions to get in? Really? Wait, is Valorant EMEA just invite only? Is that it? That's it? You don't have to pay, you just get invited? What? Wait, does that mean they have promotion relegation? No. Yes, they do have promotion relegation. But I already talked about this a few times already. It's like, what is the perfect esport, you know? Is the perfect esport where, like, I don't know, the LTA has 2 guest slots, and then it has 6 franchise teams. The LCP, I think, has a few guest slots. CS has just third-party tournaments non-stop. I think they have, like, 1 league that's Blast or some shit, don't they? Or... I remember they had, like, 1 league and everything else is just tournaments. Then you have Valorant, which is, like, invite-only. With Ascension. And now you can qualify to Worlds through Tier 2. Back in the days of old League in, like, 2014, you could make a ranked 5v5 team with your homies. You could get really high on the ladder in the ranked 5v5 on the client. That would automatically qualify you if you're top 20 or some shit, or top 15, to play in Challenger Series Open qualifiers. And if you win the Challenger Series Open qualifiers, you go to the Challenger Series. And if you win the Challenger Series, you go to the LCS promotion tournament. So back in the around 10 years ago, and then if you win the LCS promotion tournament, you go to the EULCS at the time. And if you win the EULCS, you go to Worlds. So back in the days, you could really start here. And you can really just, like, go all the way. It did take a bit of time, but I don't know what year it was. I swear it was like 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18 maybe. And then 19 it was LEC franchising. And then you have franchising, which is obviously, like, great for teams because it's like, you know, you can invest lots of money and not really get cooked. Yeah, in the LCK, LCK had a similar system, I think. I don't know if they had the ranked 5v5, but you had, like, Griffin and DK. They were kind of born through the Challenger Series. I don't know. It's a competition. It's an entertainment product. It's a lot of things, right? I don't know. I feel like the formats changed a lot every year for EU. And I feel like this happening is just going to mean it's going to change more and more, I think, over the next few years. Because you're either going to have to double down or you're going to have to remove it. So this is like, I definitely think this is like the first step to, I think that franchising, you have the door closed and it's locked. And I think this winter format kind of like kicks the lock off, you know? Because what's going to happen, you know? What's going to happen? Because they already said in the article said that Worlds was discussed, but it was declined, but expect further changes in the future. So that only really implies, and if we're going to, like, hold Caedrel accountable for assuming what things are implying, then my bad for spreading the rumor that it's true. Apparently anything anything Caedrel speculates is fucking confirmed. Like yesterday when I said, surely all the LEC teams have to agree to this, right? They must have agreed. There's no other way. To then making it say that Caedrel said that all the LEC teams agreed. It's like, okay, great, thanks for that. However, further integration can be expected in the future. So again, let's go off assuming that this implies that in further integration in the future is referring to the fact that there's a Tier 2 tournament involving Tier 1, Tier 2 tournament. That means what? That next year in 2027, that MSI is now qualifiable through Tier 2? Or the Worlds qualifier comes back? Or some shit, you know?
Que de esos 3 spots, los dos clasificados para Worlds, los 2 primeros clasificados a Worlds, si hubiera sido, por ejemplo, este año, hubieran sido los 2 primeros que hubieran sido G2 y Koi, ¿vale? Y el tercer spot, que hubiera una especie de Royal Rumble entre los 8 equipos restantes de LEC y 8 equipos de RL. En formato wildcard.
So what he said is basically Riot's idea for 2026 summer was that you have the LEC regular season, you have the LEC playoffs, it sounds like, and if you go by this year, G2 and Koi were in the finals, so they both lock Worlds. But the third seed isn't given to Fnatic. What happens is the 8 bottom LEC teams, so not G2 and Koi, and the 8 top EMEA Masters teams go into a 16-team Royal Rumble, and the winner gets the third world spot. Is basically what he said. That was Riot's idea, apparently. And all the teams said no.
Ahí lo tenéis.
Qué barbaridad. Qué barbaridad. O sea, es que...
La idea original es hacer spot que hubiera una especie de Royal Rumble.
Some special series of Royal Rumble.
Los 8 equipos
Between
restantes.
the 8 remaining teams from the LEC.
Y 8 equipos de
and the 8
RL.
ERL teams.
En formato wildcard.
I presume 8 ERL teams means top EMEA Masters teams.
¿Vale?
Again, assumption, okay? Assumption. Hold up, assumption. Okay, guys? Flagging this as a speculation from what he's saying.
Wildcard. ¿Vale?
Just in case someone, like, tweets it and implies it again, and everyone's like, you fucking idiot. How would you squeeze that in? How would you squeeze that in? That's a lot of games. Like, let's presume you do a Swiss... Actually, you would do a Swiss format, right? That's what you would have to do. 16 teams, it's Worlds format. You'd have to do 16 teams Swiss. You'd have to do Swiss in, like, a week. Because think about it. When did LEC Finals end? LEC Finals were on, what, the 28th of September? LEC Finals were last weekend, no? Let's go off that. You'd have to do a full week of Swiss instantly and knock out 8 teams. Then you have to do quarter, semi, final. And then, boom, World starts. So they'd have to probably find a way to crush the timeline a bit. They'd have to remove all the break weeks, I guess. That would probably solve it. That sounds like some LPL shit, you know? Like, LPL does that kind of thing. They're like, oh, you've just finished your entire split? Jokes, here's another tournament a week later, idiot. That's just the way it is. But if this still goes through, I don't know, there's a lot of backlash, but let's see if it still goes through or not. If it still goes through, then I'm fucking pumped. It's gonna be fucking glorious. I don't know what the format looks like or anything looks like at all right now. But if we fucking rock up to that tournament, whatever they do with fucking... Who should our opening game be against? Who should our opening game be against? The worst part is I know that if we are to compete in this tournament, everyone is gonna prey on the downfall of Los Ratones. Everyone is gonna... Well, I don't know. Obviously, the fans of Los Ratones might not, but... Because Los Ratones were the first ones to be inducted in this format, everyone's gonna be like, I hope they lose because fuck them. They don't deserve to be here. Fuck Los Ratones. So the second we lose like one game, everyone's gonna be like, you see? This is why we shouldn't have invited them to the tournament. I told you they were bad. I told you they were fucking bad. And it's like, there's 2 separate hate watchers. There's the hate watchers who want us to be bad, which has been happening all year. But now there's the second group of hate watchers who are like, they don't deserve to be here because the format changed just for them because of bias. So I want them to lose. There's that group of hate watchers now. So the hate watchers have doubled. So whatever happens, I'm excited. I'm excited. Do I think that we would win the LEC right now? Probably not. Probably not. Look at Odo! If you wanted my absolute honest opinion of where we would finish in the LEC right now, if we took this split, I would say like maybe 6th. I think 6th could be doable. But with me on the team, it's probably 7th. I think that I would say it's realistic to be able to fight for that. Anything past that, I think, is unrealistic. But that's just because we've been scrimming ERL teams all year. The second we are able to put players like Baus and Velia against LEC teams in scrims for the first time, I think their improvement curve will be so much bigger. Like, you have to understand how much you get away with against ERL players. You get away with so much. And I'm going to make an example. You can go Dark Seal, scaling HP runes, refillable potion, and no second wind against Jace tops in ERL and get away with it. But if you do that against Kana, your tower's gone in 5 minutes. That's just a fact. It's just the way it is. And you just gotta learn that. You just gotta learn that that's the life. And if he rocks up and he just solo kills him level 3 instead with his Dark Seal and against the best tops in the LEC, then fair enough. Fair enough. I'm down to be proven wrong. Oh yeah, by the way, the EU Masters draw for Los Ratones has happened. We're against Misa. I don't know what it is, but we always play against the Turkish teams. Do you guys remember Chasey? Do you guys remember Chasey? No, it's not Chasey, actually. Who is it? Misa. Oh no, it's Call Me. Did we play against Misa at EU Masters Spring? No, they played against BK Rog. This is their roster. Mahili, Closer, Call Me, Tungi, and Batu. So I think you'll recognize 3 of those names. You know Mahili from Nongshim, Closer from NA, 100Ts, and Call Me from Nongshim. So you got 2 Korean solo laners from Nongshim and Closer. So I actually think that team's like pretty solid, you know? Like, that's a solid team. I know that their AD carry is... I'm not really familiar with their AD carry. I think he's Korean-British. I don't know if he's... I think he's British-Korean. I think he's British-Korean. But he's really good. He was on Bro Academy. So their team is pretty fucking stacked. Pretty stacked. He was on T1 Rookies? Wait, really? Was he on T1? Wait, he was on T1 Rookies. What the fuck? But he speaks fluent English. That's a good thing. That's pretty good for us. He was on Genji T1 Academies and Rookies. Speaking fluent English is fantastic for us. What does Imato say? If Los Ratones win this tournament, it is cooked beyond measurement. Low chance, yes, but the principle is set up. Sorry, my music's a bit loud. The conditions will change to include Los Ratones in the future. In a world where they wouldn't perform next year, I'm sure they would bend the rules to include them. No way they are going to let 2 ERL teams that have been scavenged in the offseason participate, leading to the next year. Apparently, there's a conversation on Twitter about teams in the LEC not agreeing to this. If this is the case, I think it's nuts. I assume they did just because they wanted Lost Tones pull viewership. I just assumed by the phrasing of the Sheep Esports reports and agreed yet. ERL ecosystem needs to concentrate the strong orgs and change to LEC2 and hopefully move towards a bolt-out guest slot in the future. Although cool, I'm happy LR playing can pose problems. Yeah, I see what he means. LEC2. Like, there's a lot of strong organizations in ERLs outside of academies. There's like obviously the Turkish teams like the Wildcats or even Misa Esports. There's like Zero Tenacity, I think that's there. There's Barcelona, there's Galleons, there's Gentlemates, there's loads of them. So I guess you could have like better wording, LEC1, which is tier 1, which is the tier 1 teams, and then LEC2, which is tier 2. And to revive the tier 2 viewership, instead of having like LVP and LFL and NLC, you have like a 10-team league of the best ERL teams. Or like the biggest orgs, whatever. So you have like Barcelona in there, and you have Gentlemates in there, like a European league kind of, and you have like Zero Tenacity in there, and you have like all of the teams in there from different regions. And then I guess you could kind of like argue that you can have like the top 4 from this cross conference in the tier 1s or something. I guess if you want to organize it all a bit better, it could do something like that, or you know. I guess that's kind of like football, right? Isn't it? But football still has its own domestic leagues, right? Having a border between LEC 1 and LEC 2. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I think that I think that there's always been this thought in the back of my mind, and I could be wrong, but the final saving grace for Riot and esports is to just make a Super League, right? I feel like if everything goes to shit, worst case, just stick everyone in the same league, you know? Like top 4 from every league. I don't know if that's like feasible, but I always imagined this league where you could have like, I don't know, you have like T1 and Gen G in it, and you have like fucking TL in it, and G2 in it, and you have FlyQuest in it, and you have BLG in it, and it just, but that is the league, you know? That's the league. Maybe 10 teams, or 15 teams, whatever. You just throw everyone together. And I guess by that logic, it's kind of like the same in ERLs. I feel like ERLs, Riot's only, I say only, speculating. If the ERLs continue on the trajectory where stuff gets rough and rougher and rougher and rougher and rougher, including them in LEC could help if you had some kind of like cross-play and you combined all the ERLs together into like an LEC 2. I guess it could like not save it, but definitely like bring it back to what you might want it to be. That could be a good idea. I don't know. There's so many good ideas. You could just fucking open circuit. You could fucking relegation potion. You can fucking guest slot. You can fucking this. You can fucking that. It's up to them. But it looks like it's going to take a long time for it to be decided what it properly looks like. I would say expect changes. Expect more changes, I guess. I think the article's right. Like, if they're doing this now, what are they going to do next year? What are they going to do the year after that? The teams say no to everything. Yeah, well, the teams are sitting there looking at each other, and at the table of the teams, they've collectively spent over 100 million to sit at that table, more. And now they're like, you can just rock up in your fucking shorts and your t-shirt with sunglasses on. You just walk in the door, apparently. I think that's what teams are obviously pissed off at. So I think there needs to be some massive change. Some massive change somewhere. You know, an example of the massive change is like Riot says, we're buying out all the LEC teams and we're going to move to a promotion relegation system, invite only league like Valorant. Jesus. Okay. They've committed, you know. They've committed. The problem is there's like, I think there's hey, we're on the client! Oh, yo, what the fuck? Me and Faker and Caps and Kameto and no way, we're on the client. Hey! Oh, shit! The first thing you see when you open the client is my ugly ass? What the fuck?